We're talking to our analyst specialist about the Attorney General's Senate testimony tomorrow in the Russia investigation. Jeff Sessions taking part today in a rather strange cabinet meeting with the president. Very strange indeed. The president convened Gloria's entire cabinet. Listen to some of the words that were uttered.
Thank you, Mr. President, and just the greatest privilege of my life is to serve as Vice President to a president who's keeping his word to the American people.
Mr. President, I'm privileged to be here, deeply honored, and I want to thank you for keeping your commitment to the American workers.
Mr. President, what an incredible honor it is to lead the Department of Health and Human Services at this pivotal time under your leadership. I can't thank you enough for the privilege that you've given me and the leadership that you've shown.
Mr. President, thank you for the honor to serve the country. It's a great privilege you've given me.
On behalf of the entire senior staff around you, Mr. President, we thank you for the opportunity and the blessing that you've given us to serve your agenda and the American people.
I want to congratulate you on the men and women you've placed around this table. This is a team you've assembled that's working hand in glove for the betterment of America. And I want to thank you for that. These are great team members, and we're on your team.
Thank you, Mr. President. It was a great honor traveling with you around the country for the last year, and an even greater honor to be here serving in your cabinet.
All right, Gloria, have you ever seen anything like that before?
No. Have you? Never.
I've covered a lot of opening photo ops with cabinet members.
Yeah, this was beyond a photo op. And, you know, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who is a Democrat, tweeted today, he said, maybe a bit too dear leaderish. And I think that's what it kind of sounded like. And I think that usually cabinet meetings are held when the president in private wants to get unvarnished advice from the people who work for him about things that are going on. And they're usually preceded by a bit of a photo op with the president saying, I'm glad you're all here, but not with this kind of adulation that we saw today.
Yeah, it was rather unusual. Yeah, go ahead, Bianna.
I was just going to say, I mean, it was a bit cringe-worthy, to say the least. It reminds me of the opposite reason as to why my parents brought me to this country from the former Soviet Union. I mean, their leaders were forced to do that. The difference here is they're not forced to do that. And you could see how uncomfortable the cabinet was in having to dole out these accolades. And it was something that you don't do or extol upon a 5-year-old, much less, you know, the President of the United States.
Phil, Senator Schumer, the minority leader in the Senate, he had some fun with his staff. Watch this.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I just thought we'd go around the room. Lucy, how'd we do on the Sunday show yesterday?
Your tone was perfect. You were right on message.
Michelle, how'd my hair look coming out of the gym this morning?
You have great hair. Nobody has better hair than you.
Before we go any further, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and blessing to serve your agenda.
That's great. All right, Phil, what did you think?
You know, just cringeworthy is a polite word. I went to staff meetings, thousands of them, at the senior level, at the CIA, the FBI, and also in the West Wing of the White House. Here's the problem with this session. Nothing good and nothing simple ever goes into the Oval Office. You have got to have the responsibility of people who have been in leadership positions, including former generals, who prostrated themselves in that meeting. Walk into the Oval Office and say, this is why the immigration policy isn't working. This is why our engagement with the Congress isn't working. If anybody I work for, FBI director, CIA director, national security advisor, had seen one answer like that, whoever said that would have been laughed out of the room. That's got to be a serious conversation around that table, and the message we got is the president can't stand a serious conversation. I didn't know he wanted to build a Berlin Wall, Wolf. I thought it was a wall of Mexico. That looked like a Soviet-style meeting.
Jeez. You know, Laura, what was interesting was the Attorney General was there at that meeting, and as you know, there has been a rift. There's been some serious problems between the President and his Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, who will testify tomorrow on several issues, including his controversial decision to recuse himself. The President hated that decision because he sees it as a step towards a special counsel.
And that's why I think Sessions' testimony is going to be so enlightening tomorrow, because on the one hand, he's got to make sure that his boss is pleased and doesn't feel like he's done anything to get, you know, out of line, especially on the special counsel issue. But on the other hand, he has so many pressing questions from senators day after day, whether it's the firing of James Comey or this possible meeting with Sergei Kislyak that may or may not have happened. He says didn't happen. I think he's got to tread really carefully here to serve those dual interests.
Well, he also has to serve his own credibility. You know, that's important for him, too. He's got the Congress, he's got the president, but he also has to appear as a credible witness telling his side of the story insofar as he's willing to do it.
It's going to be an important hearing. We'll have special coverage starting at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon. Up